You're a coward if you use sweats as a reason why, you lose. Anything like that. And I'm gonna tell you why, in my opinion. It's a psychological deflection, right? And sometimes you're not accounting for it. Maybe the other person is just kind of running on autopilot. And then it's a scrub trap, right? Or you use that and it kind of keeps you stuck in a situation to where you don't want to improve. So you use that term to try to, penalize anybody else who's better than you. When really you don't want to acknowledge that it's a skill gap, right? And I've never liked the term of sweat, right? Because anytime I know a guy, right? Anytime it's any type of competitive game mode, doesn't matter, right? If he loses, oh man, there's sweats, right? Man, that lobby is too sweaty. But if they win, we win, it don't matter. Then everything's good then. Oh, we win, we catching dubs, it's all good. But then as soon as they start losing, man, they sweat. But you just trash. And it'd be one thing if it only, we're just talking about video games here, but it can bleed into real life. If you don't get a job, oh man, they racist or they're discriminating against me, or they just didn't like me. It could be because, but that's the same mindset. Well, oh, they're just sweats. No, maybe your resume is trash. Maybe you think you have good people skills, but actually they suck. And you're not as likable as you think you are. You're not funny. You're telling these jokes, you think, oh, I'm naturally funny. Everybody in my friend group, my family, they think I'm funny. When really your jokes come off as corny and offensive. And they're like, listen, if we hire this guy, it is an HR nightmare. They're not gonna show you no love. Or you don't have any skills. You think you're a hard worker, but you're not, right? But I'm gonna just talk about, for this instance, we're gonna talk about Tekken. Because I'm pretty, if you ask me, I say I'm high rank, right? I'm not at the tip top, but I am up there. I am a Tekken King, right? Yoshimitsu, second season, current season. First season, I was a Fujin. Last time I looked at it, it says I'm top 18. I call it top 20. I'm the top 20% of people who play ranked, right? Hey, look, if you say, well, the top 20 is scrubs, whatever. If you can't whoop me, then it don't really matter. Then I'm gonna say you was scrub. But anyway, I've been playing, Tekken 8 since launch. I've been playing the fighting games, growing up, ever since I was little. Back when on the original, the OG PlayStation, my uncle and stuff, my uncle get off work, come in, we playing the game. It wasn't, no sharing. It was, all right, fight for it. He get off work, he want to play Tekken just like we want to play Tekken. So, okay, fight for it. Loser got to go do something else. For majority of the times we lost. We had to go leave, go do something else. But so it was either if we got whooped, we had to leave. So we would practice, and me and my cousin, we kept fighting each other. Then eventually to the point to when he wanted to play the game, he ended up losing. Hey, loser, pass the sticks or go do something else. It got to the point to where he had to leave. He couldn't even play his own PlayStation. We were whooping him. Or maybe, maybe because of that, I don't have this. I've never seen it as, sweats. Oh man, they're just being real sweaty, trying extra hard. And I was like, oh, okay, I look, I lose, I get cooked, right? And they say the definition of sweats is, trying extremely hard. But everybody is trying to win. It doesn't matter. We're talking about video games, but it could be sports, right? Whether it's a high school game, college, doesn't matter, pickup ball, you still want to win. And so where do you draw the line at, where is the imaginary line of trying too hard? Because you do have rules in the game to where, if you're playing basketball and hard fouls, unnecessary hard fouls, the last minute, okay, but then they're fouls. But if both sides are trying to win, then it gets close, the game gets good, it gets competitive. I think maybe it's the participation trophy era to where, they're sweats if they beat me. They're just sweating, they're just trying really hard. But that's part of being competitive. It's not going to be fun for people who are actually good at something, whether it's a game or a sport, to where they have to sandbag all the time to play the sport against other people. They like to play to give a good effort, and they give a good effort, and the other people give a good effort to where it's close. But with people, video games, you can relate it to real life too, or they'd say, oh man, they're just being a sweat right now. And so the people who are good, they have to sandbag. You giving a good effort, according to you, and they have to sandbag, and you think, it's fun. But it's not fun for the person who has to sandbag. That's like missing layups on purpose because the other team can't make a layup to save their life. Or purposely not shooting because the other team can't shoot to save their soul. So where you would normally shoot the ball, now you just have to do something ridiculous or, just overly dribble, right? Say, for example, I'm a big man. I like to play center. If you see me dribbling the ball, trying to shoot threes, I'm sandbagging because that's not where I'm supposed to be. And it is not fun, not at all. And it's similar to, we're going to talk about Tekken, right? Sometimes when I'm playing against people, I feel like I know that they're not as good as I am. I have to sandbag and I just have to randomly push buttons and just throw my timing off or play how I would never play. And that's not just to keep the match somewhat close and fun, competitive. But I'm not having fun. It's trash. And that's why I don't like fighting people who are not as good as I am, because I have to sandbag to the point to where I may as well not even play. If I have to sandbag to the point to where I know I should have hit this at this time, but I don't. And it's not that I'm trying, sometimes it is just natural. But we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna show, this is gonna be a clip of me playing. One is gonna be of just a friendly match with me and one of my friends. And then another one is gonna be a clip from a rank match, right? Watch this.
Round 4. Fight.
All right, now look. And I say, okay, well, which one was the casual match and which one was the rank match? Most of the things that I do in ranked are muscle memory. I like to take the ultra instinct approach. You know, if you have to concentrate on it, on a move, or what should you do in response to this or that, or in this situation, I'm trying to focus on what move do I really need to do right now in that situation. You're already cooked. You're getting fried. So a lot of it is muscle memory, and I really focus on like it when I am in a rank match and I'm thinking of what I need to do, whether I'm losing or not. I try to focus on other things. I'm not focusing on what moves I'm doing or, optimizing combos and that stuff. That is kind of the autopilot, right? That stuff is happening regardless, just from muscle memory. And so, same things that I would do in a ranked match, I'm also doing in a normal match with some of my friends. Does that mean that I'm sweating? It's just muscle memory. And to be honest, the people who I fight in ranked, they don't know what I'm gonna do until I start doing it. The people that I normally play with, my friend group, they've seen it multiple times over and over, thousands of matches over the span of Tekken being out in. So it's where, it's just muscle memory. If you fall for it, you fall for it. Hey, look, that's not my fault. That's on you. So a lot of times, somebody, really, really good could be running on autopilot, and they're not even really trying to really win. They're having fun, just running on autopilot. But their autopilot is miles above what the crybabies, I like to call them, and what the crybabies can actually play at, and so they call sweat. It's like calling to the ref for a foul. Ref, he fouling me, ref, he holding me. Stop acting like a baby. Stop doing it. Then it's a deflection. It can't possibly be that somebody is this good or takes a hobby, and we're gonna say it's a hobby. Go to work 9 to 5, whatever. You have your family time, hanging out. Okay, you get on the game every now and then. Especially during the cold weather. I know as a kid, that's the most times that we play video games. If it was nice outside, we'd go outside and play. So definitely, video games, I consider them to be a winter sport. I'm not going outside. I'm not built for it. But anyway. And so, casually playing the game, they're just better than you. Right? People, for their hobbies, they like to genuinely be good at their hobbies. They don't want to just be trash. And everybody starts off as a beginner, but that doesn't mean that everybody wants to be a beginner forever. Right? If somebody were to paint, I like to paint, I like to draw, be artsy for fun. It's a hobby of mine. After doing it for any period of time and you're still at the same level where you started, that's not normal. The normal thing is for people to progress. As the more frequent that they do it, they get better at it. Some people are just better than others, right? And I like to see the thing of calling somebody, sweats or people sweats, just because you're just you're too lazy to even get better at something. Because somebody decided to put time in, well, this is my hobby, while this is my hobby, I'm just gonna do it. And if you're gonna do something, do anything, you may as well do it right. Right? If you're just gonna pick up, let's say I'm gonna pick up boxing. So you go to your local boxing gym and all that stuff, right? Don't be throwing terrible punches with zero form. Just because, well, I'm just trying to do this for fun. If you're gonna throw a punch, and you may as well throw it properly. If you're gonna just, go to a boxing gym and just pick up the discipline just for getting into shape, or just because it's just something fun that you want to get into, it doesn't mean you have to be trash at it. Try to be as good as you can at it. That's kind of how I see fighting games in Tekken. People who play them for fun, they also don't want to be trash. They want to be as good as they can be. Does it mean that they're going to go pro? No. Probably not. Not even close for most. I don't think I'll go pro playing Tekken. I don't participate in any tournaments or anything like that, but I do play for fun. And I feel like I shouldn't have to sandbag because somebody else is going to be a crybaby because they get cooked. I get cooked all the time. And it could be come down to just the variables or like the matchup. So, you have a certain character, how the person plays the character, who your opponent is good at fighting against and who they're not good at fighting against. You never know. So when I get cooked, I just chalk it up to, hey, look, either I dropped the ball or I didn't. If I feel I didn't drop the ball, it was just a giant skill gap and there was nothing I could have done to get me out of that situation. And that's how I feel about the whole scrubs thing, or not the scrubs thing. That's how I feel about the sweats term. I just think it's a coward's way out. You just say it for one, you're too lazy to put in any effort in your hobby of choice to even get remotely good at it. You're saying it as a way to punish people who actually care to try to be good. You don't want to acknowledge that there is a skill gap. You just might be trash. It's okay. Everybody's not good at everything. And then also the person that you're playing against, or the potential sweat, they could also be having a casual match. It's just that their casual is practically professional levels compared to where you're at. And you just ended up getting matched up with them. And so you can't say that, well, this is mainly for casual matches, but to go into a ranked match, ranked lobbies, and then say, yeah, man, they're a bunch of sweats. Everybody there is trying to win. That is like signing up for any rec league or anything competitive, right? You have I'm going to compare it to recreation basketball, right? Playing at the Y or your local LA Fitness or something like that, right? You have a league, referees, scorekeepers, all that stuff, and everybody's trying to win. You can't be mad because this guy didn't blow a layup. Or, hey, man, he's playing really good defense. Why are you sweating so much? These guys are sweats. Look, they're trying to win. You can't penalize them because you're too cowardice to actually admit what's actually going on. I'm out.
Round 3. Fight. Let's go. Round one. Fight.
Over here. It's over. Over here. Body. Uppercut. Smash. Eat. Finish.
Round two. Fight. Time up. Round three. Fight.
Over here. Over here.
No need to ask, he's a smooth
Star baby entertainment, walk up in this bitch like, yeah. Let's go, yeah. She a little different, I might spend a bag on her baby, yeah. I like her habits and shit, bad as hell, but she humble as ever, yeah. But she not your average little chick, she stay in the gym, right now